Hi, this is Lori with SLP212 Receptive Language Project Lesson Plan. Now today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be demonstrating a concept to a class hypothetical preschoolers ages 3 to 5, approximately 4 to 5 students, so a small group in a classroom setting. At a table, we'll be sitting semicircle and I will be sitting with them for most of the lesson. The goal of this lesson plan is going to be for the students to understand and learn the concept of spatial relationships and positions. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and focus on not just one spatial concept, but several of them, the more basic one, and start out by doing those in pairs, which they typically are pairs and opposites. To reach this goal, first I'm going to teach the skill to learn that concept and then follow up with 2 activities. These activities are going to incorporate the 3 learning modalities as well as touch on other basic concepts such as turn taking, sequencing, and directions. Now, I will also, throughout the lesson plan, I will be stressing the concept word or words throughout just so they can process that throughout the lesson. Now, in order to reach that goal, first I will start with teaching the skill of learning that concept. And what I will do is first I will address the students and say, "Hi, thank you so much for sitting quietly, listening, and looking at me while I speak. And today we are going to learn about where things and people are in our world. And to give you an example, am I sitting down or am I standing up? Good, I'm sitting down. Is my finger on top of my head or is it at the bottom of my head? Good, it's at the top of my head." Now what I'm going to do is direct them to the whiteboard where I have some spatial concepts in pairs. I have the words written out, in and out, top and bottom, up and down. I would start with the first student and say, "Kaylee, is the fish in this picture in the water or out of the water?" I might say, "Caleb, is this blue block in this picture at the top or is it at the bottom?" I might say, "Johnny, is this arrow pointing up or is the arrow pointing down?" And I would continue on with the students. Once I felt they were comfortable with the concept and understood that, I would move to our first activity. Following with the Halloween theme, I would use the pumpkin. It's called Pass the Pumpkin. This one's a little big, so I'll use an orange. And this is good for kinesthetic tactile learning. I would give the pumpkin to the first student. "Kylie, I'm going to ask you to do something with your pumpkin. So, for example, Kylie, please put the pumpkin behind your head." And I would expect her to do that. Then I would have Kylie pass the pumpkin. I would say, "Jeremy, put the pumpkin on your shoulder," and then continue on with that. You can make this a little more challenging, giving 2-step directions. For example, "Kylie, first put the pumpkin on your shoulder and then behind your head," and so on. To make it easier, I could model or demonstrate what my instruction was. Now the next activity is called Silly Pumpkin Face. Each child, and again this is to reinforce spatial concepts and learning of that, each child will have a blank pumpkin face and they are going to have their little trick-or-treat cup full of Halloween themed pictures. So what I would do is first start and say, "Everyone pick a picture out of your trick-or-treat cup." Okay? Take your picture, and I'd like you to put your picture between the pumpkin's eyes, and they can do the glue sticks or however they'd like. Then I would say, "Pick out the next picture," and what I'd like you to do is put that picture next to the pumpkin, or in the middle of the pumpkin, or on top, and so on, until their whole face, silly pumpkin face, might look like this. Now, to make this more challenging, after they get their face done, I could say, for example, "Caleb, pick out 5 pictures on your silly pumpkin face and you tell me where these pictures are on your pumpkin." I'm prompting him to say the bat is between the pumpkin's eyes. The which is in the corner of the pumpkin picture. The cat is on top of the pumpkin's head, and so on. Now, to make it a little easier, I could say, Kylie, pick one picture out of your silly pumpkin face and tell me where it is. And then she could go on to tell me. And this concludes the lesson plan.